The story of this game is all about Matt House's defense. The MVP of this game, I'm just going to say it right now. Sure, on offense, of course, you could say Jaden Daniels. I'm going to say maybe Malik Neighbors with his exquisite, huge, timely, clutch third down catches. And the adversity he had to return from there. But defensively, and maybe you could say overall, the MVP of this game is Jay Ward. 11 tackles. Unbelievable. I think that might be a career high just right there, 11 tackles. 1.5 tackles for loss. It felt like he blew up far more plays than that. He was just a menace all over the place at that nickel position. It really allowed him to affect the game with his length as well, which you were able to see, especially on that play where Greg Brooks blew that play up at safety. That play specifically late in the game showed why they made that switch. But then he had that one interception that really was a killer. Absolutely was the nail in the coffin for Mississippi State, that interception. That interception for Will Rogers, you just got to, Jay Ward is all over that. These receivers, I just gotta say it right now. These receivers for Mississippi State were awful tonight. I don't even care what the stats they put up. They dropped so many crucial passes, so many short little passes. The running backs did as well. They let Will Rogers down tonight. They let Michael Leach down tonight, and they gave LSU and that defense a lot of chances to get off on third down. LSU were really, really making Mississippi State pay on third down defensively. But we just couldn't do anything with the ball on offense. But you come back in that game, that's the thing here. LSU were down 13-0. You get it 13-7. Right before half, Dre Jenkins coming up clutch. And you have a 21-point fourth quarter. 21-point fourth quarter, and you shut them out. Shut Mississippi State out in the fourth quarter, but you also hold Mississippi State to only 3 points in the third. Just 3 points in the entire second half from Mississippi State. Only 3 points. And a lot of that has to do with Jay Ward flying around, organizing that defense. Him and Matt House go back clear to 2014 when Matt House first recruited him. And, Jay Ward actually committed to Kentucky, where Matt House was linebackers coach and defensive coordinator as well. And, you saw they're close. And you see the execution out there with Jay Ward through 3 games, and you know that he's going to have a fantastic season. And it just seems that he has been underrated and overlooked for far too long. He has had more pass breakups, more interceptions than either Jay Ward or Derek Stingley Jr. over the last 3 years since the end of 2019 season. And he has really made a name for himself. I mean, this season he's been incredible. And you put him in the nickel spot, and you get an interception out of him tonight. Led the team in interceptions last year. Led the team in interceptions in 2020. Here we go again with Jay Ward. And we got a comment from John Delane. Jay Ward played a pretty good game. Pretty good game. Come on, John. That's all you got, a pretty good game. That was a career game for Jay Ward right there. That was unbelievable. He was flying all over the place. He was involved in everything. He was destroying everything. And you didn't really see too many mistakes. Major Burns also had a great game too. Major Burns was all over the place. Freshman Harold Perkins, 1.5 sacks, 1.5 tackles for loss, 1 quarterback hit. But someone who really affected the game so much for me, and you could also say 1B MVP, B.J. Ojolari. 4 tackles, 3 solo. That's not really the the caveat we're looking for here. 1.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits. I think it was more than that. I think it was at least 3 or 4. And 5 pressures. Huge moments of the game. He was a third down canceller in a way. And Harold Perkins, you know, his first debut start last week, comes into his own this week. Unbelievable. You're seeing the rise of Harold Perkins right here and now, seeing the rise of Jay Ward. You're seeing the rise of this LSU defense. A lot of young guys, Mekhi Wingo, flying up the middle, making plays left and right. Half a sack and a quarterback hit, blowing up a few 4th and 1 tries. You know, that's the thing that Mississippi State were doing. They were gambling early. They went for 4th down on their own 20, 19-yard line or something, their own 29, whatever it was. It was just crazy, and they got it. But then they go for it again. Mekhi Wingo and Harold Perkins both stuffed that play. Whit Weeks also had a great game. Whit Weeks was in on some plays, some pass breakups, half a tackle for loss again.